Hey guys, today I want to show you how to gesso a page. I always gesso my pages because the gesso creates a moisture barrier that will inhibit any of the pigment from pens or gelatos or watercolors to go through the page to the other side. And let me show you a little bit of what that looks like. A gessoed page might have shadowing like this does, where you can see it shadowed through, but there's no bleed through. So shadowing is normal, but we don't want the bleed through to happen because then that would create a problem if you were going to want to do an entry on the other side. You'll need clear gesso. If you haven't already, check out the video of my starter kit unboxing. And this is the gesso that comes in the starter kit, and I'll be teaching you how to use this one today. If you Bible journal avidly, you'll want to get something a little bit bigger. So I use the Art Basics gesso, and it works really well. It's a large tube, and it'll last me a long time. It's lasted me over a year of doing it quite often. You'll also need a piece of parchment paper to go behind the page you plan to gesso, as well as a paper towel. So let's start with this clear gesso. If you have the gesso applicator from Monarch, you're going to want to put the gesso on the non-printed side. This will help your applicator stay fresh and working as long as possible. So you take your gesso and just squirt a thin layer on the back side, just like that. This should be enough to last at least half the page, if not more. And then what you'll want to do is put it flat onto the page with just a little bit of an angle up and just scrape it along the page. If you look at the right angle, you can see the shininess, and you want to make sure that the gesso is getting all over the page, or at least the part that you plan on using for your entry. So I need a little bit more to go the rest of the way up the page, and just keep going if you want to. And if you plan on putting pigment everywhere on your page, you're welcome to go all the way into the corner. But because it does act a little bit like a glue, I generally try to stay away from the edges, or from the inside, and just use about 2/3 to 3/4 of the page. Just making sure it's completely covered, as I don't want any bleed through of any of my pigment. Once it's dry, it's very important that you wipe off your applicator on the paper towel, and then quickly take your parchment paper and unstick it from the paper. If there's been any overlap, which there usually is, sometimes that can get a little bit thick and cause the paper or the page of your Bible to stick to the parchment paper, and we don't want that. So we just move it out a little bit, make sure it's not stuck, and let it dry. Once it's completely dry, you're ready to begin.